Alrighty then, everybody, we're back. We're at another morning. Today we are doing the Mazda Miata, which coincidentally was just done yesterday by someone a little bit bigger than us. You might know him, Doug DeMiro, the king of car viewing and things like that. But it was already gonna be on our list, so we're gonna do it anyways. We'll go over some of the things that he went over, but maybe do a different spin on this sort of thing. Now, I'm sorry if it's a little dark. It shouldn't be too bad, but we are getting to that kind of time where it's 7:30 right now, so it's a little dark. And it's just gonna get darker as we go. So that sucks. I'm gonna beat out a person here. So, Mazda Miata. What is a Mazda Miata? It is the tiniest little two-door sports car you can buy, right? Most people know what it is. But, for those who don't, take one of the smallest cars and make it smaller. But, that doesn't mean it loses things like design and stuff. It's still a very beautiful car. I mean, if you get a red one with their just gorgeous red that has a huge amount of flake and it's a really deep color and things like that, you couldn't mistake it for being a much more expensive car than it is. Talking about price range, they start in the low to mid 20,000s, so it's not the worst thing ever to get. But just like the BRZ, you're not getting a lot of car. Now, like trunk and stuff, obviously small. And especially if you get the Spider version, then like all your hood kind of, or not your hood, your roof kind of folds into an area that kind of restricts cargo space and things like that. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't even know if they make a hardtop version. I don't know if I've ever seen a hardtop version. They might, I just might have never seen one. Maybe for the new model they just fixed that issue by just having a the Spider version, which a Spider for a vehicle is typically a hardtop that folds down like a convertible. So it's the best of both worlds. One thing that is great, fantastic for this year is it now has 180 horsepower. Wow. No, 180 horsepower, that's nothing. But for a car like this, that's a lot. That is a ton. The car only weighs 2,400 pounds or something like that. Maybe 2,500 with the Spider. Like, they're nothing. So it's crazy that you can get that much horsepower, and again, we're just talking small, that much horsepower and that little car for that cheap, because typically the horsepower in those ran at like 155 for the longest time, which to me seemed like a regular number for the car, I guess I'll say. But now up to 181, I think is what it's at, and that beats out its direct competitor Fiat Spider, which the Fiat Spider was boasting the highest horsepower of its class for that was like the kind of marketing campaign, kind of putting down the Mazda Miata, saying, oh, we made more horsepower than you, but it only made 164 over the Miata's 155, so I'm like, it doesn't really count. And maybe it was updated for 2019, I'll have to check on that, but we'll get to that car later in the week. Now, everyone knows that the Mazda Miata is a little tiny little car, right? Started out with its Wagner engine. It's, what is it? Rotary, there we go. Sorry, had its rotary engine. I'm not sure if it still does. Don't remember. Should have looked that up. My bad. But this video, I kind of wanted to talk more about what we're going to get kind of philosophical here. What is a Miata? A Miata is like the embodiment of driving experience. It is, you get in a tiny little two-door car with a manual gearbox. You put the hood, or keep saying hood. You put the roof down and you go out and you go and you have a good time and you have the best time and you just drive. It is a true driver's car. Driver's cars typically are cars not meant for your daily life. They're meant to be an escape. And that's what I think the Miata does very well. I think it's been a kind of beacon for that kind of experience for a very long time. So, good on the Miata. One thing maybe some people don't think about when buying the car is they go, yeah, it's a tiny car and I'm ready for it. It's not just tiny, it's small. I've been in a couple and driven a few around, and whoo, there is nothing as claustrophobic as a Mazda Miata. If you don't like small, do not get a Miata. If you want a two-door sports car, go with something like the BRZ 370C or Audi TT. Go with something a little bit bigger, because it is small. If you're any kinds of tall, get something bigger than the Miata. It is tiny. Still, really good and cool car, but tiny. One thing that Mr. DeMiro mentioned in his videos was that it has movable cup holders. So it's got cup holders that sit in, like, the armrest goes right along the center, and they sit right over here, and you can, like, grab them, you can move them up for the passenger and stuff. But that actually really doesn't work out very well, because they're kind of flimsy, and that takes even more of their space away, and that's just not cool. And there's also a huge hump in the passenger's footwell and stuff, so, like, it's a small car. There's no getting away from it. But now it's a small, slightly powerful car. So, good on it. I think it's probably, I don't know. I don't know if I can call it second best. I think I'd go with, like, the Audi TT for second best or something like that. But this is definitely a good car. This will be your quintessential entry-level sports car. And they're not too crazy expensive, and they are massive in the modern community. Just massive. People have been doing crazy shit with them for fucking forever. And they will continue to do so. Maybe not with the newer ones, but still with the older ones. If you can find an old Mazda Miata, you'll find a group of people that love your car more than you, which is a good thing. It's always nice when someone else likes your car. But I think that'll do it for today. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe any kind of car that you'd like to see, or I say subscribe, comment any kind of car you'd like to see, comment any kind of detailing items you would want to hear, and I will see you in the next video.